Hello everybody, welcome to Monday's MCN. I've actually just noticed there is a mug on the floor. Why is mug on floor? Me don't know why muggy's on floor. Why is your mug's not on floor? There's actually a lot to go over in this show. Some stuff I've had to kind of like bump into other videos because there's just a lot of topics to go over and Kabam answering on topics. One, like bit of good news, and this will probably change. We'll probably be up to like 150k, maybe 200k pre-registration for PC version. Currently 100k, fantastic. If, as we said before, even like if they get concurrent players of the game on PC close to 100k, that is just wow. Okay, even if they get like 20k or 10k for the course of a year, that's still really good for a 10-year-old game, as we said in the past. So the milestones, of course, have been unlocked. We're up to 100k signups. 150k is just around the corner, and of course 200k signups from there will kind of put us into this kind of territory of a free 7-star. So if you haven't thought about pre-registering, maybe do it. It's a cross-platform version of it. It's not, obviously, if you sign up, this isn't going to be new players, but it could be good as well for the future of the game, and I'm looking forward to playing the PC version and kind of figuring out like playing on that version. So yeah, good news, good to see, and let's get into some other stories. Twitch drops. Okay, so there were a lot of people that messaged me, reached out and said that they were still, because Kabam ran the live stream on Saturday and it didn't seem as well that the Twitch drops were actually working, and I think, no, it was going into late Friday night, sorry. Actually, no, I thought I woke up and there was still like the stream running. I don't know, maybe there was. Anyway, people weren't able to get the Twitch drops then. For a limited time, when the stream was launched, you were able to get Twitch drops working, but you weren't able to claim all of the rewards as part of that system. Kabam gave a free promo code, which was sorry about that. So make sure to go and use that one if you haven't collected any rewards. But at least like this is then good for everybody. Everybody gets to claim. Also, I think I saw concurrent viewers on Twitch on Friday of 12,000, which that is really good for Kabam, and I hope that's more to come with people getting interested with the game. Kabam, you know, doing better when it comes to like getting some things fixed for players. It's not perfect, but they're actually doing a little bit better, and this is the difference between starting off really bad in 2025 and ending really good in 2025, which Kabam last year I don't think had that real positive bounce from players' experience with the developer and feeling that we want to be answered again. So long may it continue. That's the promo code. And from the live stream itself, really exciting because we saw new character models a new model for Mr. Knight, which looks amazing. I love this one. It is, in my opinion, better than the Marvel Rivals one because that has a cape, because you know, it's kind of, their skins are done with it, just like they just put it over the top a lot of the time. But there is skin customization in Marvel Rivals, so that's, yeah, that's a bit different, and that's good. Will we ever get that in MCOC? I don't think we will, because they'll just create new versions of characters like, it's not Moon Knight, it's Mr. Knight. It's not Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, it's Jake Lockley. We might have that, you know, we've got so many more years to see what Kabam are cooking up. But there's Mr. Knight, for those that wanted to see what the champion looked like. But also Magik, okay? Magik was announced with an overhaul, and of course a design overhaul as well, improving the older design with this now kind of like newer design. I love this. I think Kabam have done a fantastic job with this design. Yeah, art team don't miss for sure. There's only been like 1 or 2, I think, champions in the last year to 2 years that I've gone like, I'm not quite sure with the design. Most of the time it's just been brilliant. So long may that continue. I didn't mean to pause that screen there, sorry. Yes, there's also a bit more to the Magik kind of like rework, because I know some people were questioning like the changes to the champion, and I know that Karate Mike put this about this again, give a bit more context to people that are wondering. Over time, being 5-star locked seems to have caused folks to forget how truly busted Magik is. Yes, she was. There was like limited champions that were able to take her down. If you don't remember, go back in your history of MCOC. Blade with what was it, like his ability to like take down dimensional characters. Like he was one of many that were very slimline options to take down Magik, and still sort of that to this day. And then you got your Human Torches come in, but as she wasn't able to be put into a 6-star, she became irrelevant for Alliance War. Actually, still a little bit relevant for Battlegrounds, but only a very kind of like fine kind of like area. 5-star Magik was being used in competitive Alliance War against maxed out 6 stars up until the 7-star meta took away her reach. Oh, yeah, I didn't really see her that much, to be honest, with the 5-star being used until the 7-star meta. But hey ho, maybe that was kind of like top end alliances versus like, you know, I'm still clocking it around at that time. Probably Gold 1 before joining the alliance I'm with now, which we are pushing up platinum. So it's, yeah, very different back then, I guess. Release Magik in her current form as a 7-star. It's not an option. No, it would. No, that's like an instant BG win. And I'm not talking about a Brian Grant win. By the way, if Brian Grant's out there, we miss you. We'd love you to return back to the game. Give an update to people. Like, what are you up to? It'd be nice to hear from you that you are safe and well. And leaving her locked in a 5-star land isn't going to be beneficial on her, and honestly isn't great for the game. The goal is for her to be a powerful champion that can be used in MCC for a long time, and I think this is a very long overdue. Yeah, I like the character. I love playing the character in Marvel Rivals. I think a lot of people have a very unique relationship with Magik. Is the appearance, the abilities of the character, even from like what we've seen in the past with films like New Mutants. Like that was probably one of the biggest highlights from New Mutants, and there wasn't a huge amount of highlights from New Mutants, but for me it was Magik. Magik's an incredible character. And of course, what you could be doing with her going into Limbo, yes, okay, we could see something a lot different to what we normally like and what we'd see from chip damage. Although you've got Domino doing chip damage with her critical failure, is it? And yeah, it just would be nice to see. So whatever Kabam are cooking up, it just at least allows you to go, I like this character, I can now actually use it. And Kabam have this kind of like meet in the middle with us as a community to go, hey, we'll do this, we'll give you the champion you want, we'll make her look good, and we'll give you a way that you could get her if you save your Radiance in order to grab her at the same time. So there's a little bit of a win-win situation for this. Anyway, let's talk about Adrenaline. So Kabam also talked about Adrenaline. I don't think this was mentioned in the live stream, but there was definitely a dev diary going into more details because there's a little bit of like structure to kind of like explain with it. Kabam said here, you may see champions to decrease combat Adrenaline, which is the familiar method of storage via hit damage. Until now, this rate, when not 0, has always been 30 or 35% for those 7 stars whose summoners haven't yet changed their stat focus selections. But now, more is possible. Note that anything that increases combat Adrenaline will be a flat increase, meaning that increasing a 6 stars combat Adrenaline by plus 20% will cause 50% of incoming hit damage to be stored, rather than 36. That's really good, by the way. For one, though, 5-star champions combat Adrenaline is 0%, but this can be increased by other effects. Alright. We can also now grant Adrenaline in other places, which will be referred to as ability Adrenaline. As you may have picked up on, this is very similar to the split between combat and ability power rate. On the conversion side, you may also see champions that convert more Adrenaline with certain attacks, or in lump sums on other triggers. Lastly, to help you better process all of this more easily, we've changed the display of Adrenaline conversion to show up as a blue numbers, a lot of blue number rather than green, so you can better distinguish this health gain from traditional regeneration. To look down the road a bit, if you're starting to worry about us interfering with Adrenaline you're used to, let me assure you that this is not the goal here. What we want here is to be able to start building more champions that hook into the unique and powerful resource and let you interact with it in ways that feel familiar from other parts of the game. For now, Cyclops dips a toe into this new waters with a pretty simple interaction with the signature ability, but keep an eye out for future champions that expand on these mechanics in bewitching new ways. Bewitching? I'm not going to get bewitched. That was a show from a very, very long time ago. Or is that a clue or a nod to Agatha all along? I don't know, I saw this theory that Agatha's coming and maybe coming this year. But we'll have to see. I think we even kind of like sort of well, it was an option, I think, from the champions that could be coming to the game. Except for Polaris. I got that wrong. Really wrong. We've got 2 more stories to end on. First one being about Dark Phoenix. There was a really decent question about the champion. Is it a trophy champion? And will she be obtainable as a 6-star? So, you know, Jessica Jones, Wolverine, you know, stuff like that. The Kabam Crash offers some insights and some clarifications on stuff. He says, I consider her to be a trophy champion. The 6-star is available as part of the Heart of Fire as well in the event for Uncollected Plus. No plans for 5-star and below at this time. So, at least if you're kind of like shooting for that, you can get it. We'll talk a bit more about this on Wednesday. I think I'm going to like focus a lot of my content coverage and guiding on the Heart of Fire event and then kind of branch out from there. So I'll try and cover a lot as much as possible in a very short space of time, but it's quite a bit to cover. So on more details, I'm not sure when marketing is putting out the information, but I can say the event is similar to the last year's Omega Days, including Dark Phoenix in the milestones is the only major design change, beyond of course upgrading a bunch of champion materials to the current progression. And you don't have to apologize. Everyone's really polite. Everyone's interested. And also a question was, but will she be an actual good trophy champion? And what makes her better than a regular Phoenix buff? Love these questions, by the way. When the community asks really decent questions, but also when Crash takes his time to answer this, and any of the team at Kabam take their time to answer. It's hard to say until she's in the game, but I see her in a similar spot to Jessica Jones. She'll have most impact on defense, but will have some attacking uses as well. But I'm not a balance designer. That's just my personal perspective at this point. So that's another thing as well, rebalance. If you're thinking about going in for some of these new champions, you'll have to contend with the potential rebalance of the champion. A lot of the time things seem to be going in okay. Like there doesn't seem to be like a massive shift in them if you have invested resources as well. Getting the show on this, because I know a lot of people were really like questioning like what the last Cosmic Champion was going to be apart from being Dark Phoenix, and of course this kind of goes into a part 2 to like the story we just covered, but in answer to like, well, why wasn't there a 7-star Hulkling, Hercules, or Cosmic Ghost Rider? This is the answer. Ultimately, very strongly against putting an objectively less than desirable champion in the crystal and creating the possibility of a lesser experience for players, opening 1 to 2 crystals simply to have 1 champion per class. So I pushed really hard against that. The way I see it is that this keeps the crystal loaded with champions at the top of their classes for players engaging lightly in the event, while guaranteeing one of the 6 of those going the way to the end on top of the selector. That gives a copy of 1 to the other 5, creating a much better chance to walk away with all 6 champions. Of course, these are some of the like, you know, biggest champions in the game, and yeah, like they may be seen as a bit OP to a degree. And of course, there was a period of time, which we're just learning here, that we discussed adding Carnage to the crystal, so there would be a champion per class. But of course, we now got the Dark Phoenix, which I think allows a little bit of rarity. So let's go with that and go like that's probably the reason. But I get where people are coming from, where they're like, I wanted to see this champion. I thought King Groot might be in it. I thought that Hulkling as a 7-star might be an okay option in theory, but just not there. Maybe Kabam see it differently. Maybe they'll have to wait until like we're at higher ranks to start allowing, or even new 8-stars to allow some of the champions that are locked, like a 6-star, like a 5-star Quake not having a 6-star version, and a Hulkling Cosmic Ghost Rider has to be a 7 before it can become an 8, and don't even think about Hercules. But anyway, that's a bit of kind of like clarification on that if you wanted to know why or what Kabam were focusing on with having Dark Phoenix. I like the rarity aspect and falls into the saga for Dark Phoenix. It's just whether the champion's good. That's always the thing. Whether the champion's good. It's a risk Kabam have to play, but we'll see if it pays off. We'll Dark Phoenix a better option to have in there as a 6 or 7-star in this case than something like Cosmic Ghost Rider, Hercules, or Hulkling. And that is it for the show today. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. I am RichTheMan. That's my name. Why am I saying my name for? Anyway, I can't think of like how to end this. Bye.